going on YouTube? My name is Rudy, aka Retro. This is my YouTube channel. I don't really post stuff on here, as you can tell, but I figured I'd kick off the year by reviewing my top favorite albums of the past year, 2020. Since we had so much time to ourselves, so much time quarantined due to the pandemic, I figured why not share the music that I enjoyed this past year, and I'm gonna break it down to two tiers. The first tier that I'll break down will be number 20 through 11, just in that order, just so I can, kind of add a anticipation and hype into the top 10. Personally, to me, I felt like the first half of the year started off a bit slow and then kind of began ramping up as the summer went on, and then into the fall and winter. I feel like 2020 just ended with a blast. So much good music just started coming out and trickling down into throughout the year, so my list kept growing, and it definitely made it harder. It made it harder for me to break this down, and I've done this in years past, maybe the past 2 or 3 years, but I figured this year I do something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to make a video of my breakdowns of my favorite albums, and so I figured why not try it out and let's see how it goes, and hopefully I can keep this energy and momentum going for the rest of the year, because I would like to put out more content. I'm just new to this stuff, never done this before, and hope you guys enjoy, and I hope it's as fun as I expected to be. Let's start it off. Coming in at number 20 on my list is an album that I had pretty high up on my ranks when it first released, and it just happened to end up at this spot at number 20, and that's Taylor Swift's Folklore. I love the album. I thought it was really good on first listen, and the more I dived into it, it just grew on me some more. But as I did this list and I saw the final placement, I couldn't figure out how it ended there, but it did, because there's plenty of more albums that I enjoyed personally, and but still, that's nothing to take away from this fantastic album. I think Taylor switched up her style here, a little bit more folk, more calm music, soothing, but I think she killed it. I'm not surprised one bit. Taylor Swift, she doesn't miss. Coming in at number 18 is pop punk band from Michigan, Hot Mulligan, with You'll Be Fine. Damn good record. I love me some pop punk, ADTR, as you can see, and rock music in general. And this is another one that came out pretty early in the year, but damn good album. I enjoyed the hell out of it. From beginning to end, Hot Mulligan, I discovered them last year, just in time for their next release, which was You'll Be Fine, and really enjoyed the album. Check it out, guys. At number 17 is Nashville's electronic artist Super Duper with album Hallelujah. This one I discovered rather late in the year. I think it came out in November, if I'm not mistaken. And I wasn't familiar with the artist, ran into it, and I really enjoyed the album. On first listen, I was like immediately hooked. I like electronic music. I'm not always too into it. I don't always dive into it too much, but this one I really enjoyed, guys. So you want to check them out, go ahead, feel free. Let me know what you think. At number 16, I have Church Girls with The Haunt. It's it's a punk record, but with dark twists on it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's very enticing. It automatically hooked me in. I wasn't too familiar with them, but I'm a fan now just because that record is very, very good. It's got a dark aura around it, but it's very, very good. If you love punk music, you'll definitely enjoy this album. 15, another punk band from Philadelphia, Fire in the Radio with Monuments. Great album. Check it out, guys. Number 14, I have Sasha Sloan's Only Child. If you're looking for a soothing, just kind of kick back and relax record, this is definitely the one. Beautiful voice from Sasha Sloan, solid album, and the production on the record is fantastic. Number 13, Montreal, Quebec's own Dear Youth. What can I say, man? Heirloom by them is a fantastic debut album. I wrote up a review on it right before the year ended. If you guys check it out, I'll pin it on the comments here, or you want to check out my Twitter, which I'll place at the end of the video. I posted it on there as well, so you can follow the link and check it out, man. Very good record for a debut. I think the guys did so good. Yes, I love me some pop punk, but I mean, the record is so good and so enjoyable. It's easy to listen to. 10 tracks of the album, but from beginning to end, you'll love it. If you love pop punk, you'll definitely enjoy this album. Check it out. I love hip hop, and I feel bad saying this, but I was not too familiar with Conway the Machine. Matter of fact, this past year and a half, I kind of started picking up on the whole Griselda artist, And I am kind of ashamed to admit that I wasn't full on board and familiar with them, but I mean, that's gone. I am now. And at number 12, I have Conway the Machine, From a King to a God. Fantastic fucking record, man. Pure hip hop. Check it out. Just bars on bars on bars. Number 11, I have an artist from the genre regional mexicana. That's Tercer Elemento with Nuestra Ola, Our Wave. I really didn't see Tercer Elemento dropping this project. I didn't think they would release anything this year. I thought they'd wait till maybe 2021, considering the stuff that they went through in the summer and, this past year, actually, with the change of members and whatnot. But when this album dropped, I definitely got around to it, and I was impressed. More impressed than I had been with their stuff from before. I think this project, to me personally, I felt like from beginning to end, I mean, they kept it consistent, and I mean, every track on there is very listenable. Now, if you're familiar with the genre, maybe you're not, but it is from the Regional Mexicana. And if you enjoy that kind of music, let me know what you think about the album, because I thought it was really good. I know they've had a change of members, like I said, but I really think Christopher Nava with his vocals on this one, he's maturing now, but I think he came through with it, and I think the whole band did too. I mean, the guitar work on this album is fucking good. Check it out, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna break into the top 10, the tier 1, right? 10 through 1. And this one was where it got a little bit trickier for me, a lot of those albums that I kind of had positioned high at the beginning of the year, this is where I started seeing that, they were shuffling around. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because that's, to me, that just meant more music came in and more music stuck with me that I really enjoyed. And let's just get to it, man. I'm very excited about this list. I want to see what you guys think. Coming in at number 10, I know you guys are going to be pretty familiar with this artist and this album, considering just how much he shook up the hip-hop landscape when this was announced. And this is Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon 3 with The Chosen. Man, I had been waiting, and I'm sure I speak for many Cudi fans that had been waiting for Man on the Moon 3 since Man on the Moon 2 dropped years ago, over like 7 years ago. But I think the wait was well worth it. I actually enjoyed this album, Man on the Moon 3, better than Man on the Moon 2. And of course, I hold Man on the Moon 1 at number 1 right now, but I think I break it down in that way. Man on the Moon 1 at 1. At 2, I have Man on the Moon 3, and at 3, I have Man on the Moon 2. And I think just because of, I guess, different periods in your life and what you're going through at the time when you're listening to. But, this album was really good. What did you guys think? I thought Cudi rapped a lot more on Man on the Moon 3. I thought he delivered, man. And this is a side of Cudi that I always wanted to hear, because I know he can rap. I know he's not the best spitter. He's not the most, he don't got the best wordplay or whatever, but that's not what Cudi brings to the table. Cudi brings that vibe, that mood, and gets you feeling a certain mood. Cudi's that the whole package type of deal. A handful of tracks that I enjoy on this album, but I think the two that really, really stick with me and like are go-tos are Mr. Solo Dolo 3. Such a good track. And the track featuring Phoebe Bridgers, Loving Me. Fucking fantastic track. Though that, I can't decide between the two which one's my favorite, but those two fucking hit. Number 9. Yep, another pop punk band, Chicago's own Knuckle Puck with 2020. I think the first single off this album was it Breathe, featuring Derek Sanders from Mayday Parade. When this track came out in September, I believe, I did a review on the single. If you want to check that out, I'll post it as well on the description below. Another solid record, man. Knuckle Puck to me never fails. I think maybe the last album before this one, Shapeshifter, maybe kind of didn't stick as good as maybe they had hoped. And it's understandable. It's hard to replicate success from a good album that you release onto the second one. It's not always going to work. I feel like Knuckle Puck does a good job on bringing back fans that have had that specific emotion, that specific connection with Copacetic. And I think they maintain their sound, but still managed to show maturity. Knuckle Puck's got the the DNA of that pop punk essence that many people love, and I don't think they can miss, man. They're a damn good band. At number 8, I didn't think this album would fall where it is, which 8 is still a good placement. All of these albums are good. Let me say that again. But, I had this album so high on my first listens. I really fucking enjoyed it. I still do. I still go back to it frequently. But I ended up here, and it's Nas's King's Disease. Who doesn't love Nas? I love hip-hop, and I'm definitely more into the lyrical stuff of hip hop. When you think of Nas, you think of boom bap, you think of hip hop, you know, and I think King's Disease, like, it brought that, but the production from Hit Boy, oh my gosh, that's another thing, man. Hit Boy, this was his fucking year. 2020 was his. I hope the guy gets a Grammy, and I know Grammys don't validate shit now, you know, but still, man, Hit Boy did his fucking thing this year, and it shows on the production here on King's Disease. I think that really helped Nas. You know, Nas has been known to, you know, even for his hardcore fans, it's been to where it's been hit and miss with past releases in the past few years. But I mean, this album, I haven't heard anyone that didn't like it, and I really fucking loved it. Number 7, I have another band from the Regional Mexicana genre, and that's Fuerza Regida with Otro Pedo, Otro Mundo, Rancho Humilde's very own. What can I say, man? If you like corridos, if you know what that is, you're Hispanic Mexican watching this, you know what I'm talking about. It's either liked or hated, you know, loved or hated. But I mean, I enjoy it, and I thought this album was really good. Fuerza Regida, you know, tends to bring, you know, a little bit more aggressive lyrics, you know, like many of the corridos. But I really enjoyed this project, man. I mean, it's definitely one that I kept listening throughout the summer, and even till now, it's just one that's on my rotation very, very frequently. Number 6, I have Loyo Lobos from Los Angeles, California. Loyo Lobos is made up from one person, and that's singer-songwriter Andrea Silva. Indie pop, alternative musician. I think this record was so good, so soothing. I love the way she mixes up the English and then throws in like some Spanish words in there, Spanish hooks, and it's just so relaxing, man. She's really got a good touch. I feel like she's years ahead of her craft, and I think she's just now scratching the surface, and that's just with her debut. I'm very excited and curious to see what her next step in her musical journey is, but I'll be very much on board, and I see very much success for her in her musical career. At number 5 is an album that came out what feels like maybe 2019, but it was definitely 2020, January of 2020. And upon first listen, man, this one's bittersweet. Hip-hop artist Mac Miller, may you rest in paradise. Circles was phenomenal from beginning to end. Mac's work, Mac's production, his beat selection, super beautiful album. Definitely out of his realm. Not completely out of his realm though, because Mac in projects prior to Circles, he was already diving into different sounds, a lot of the jazz stuff. But I feel like in Circles, you know, he definitely took it a different route. He definitely had hip-hop touches here and there sprinkled throughout. I wrote a review about this album a couple of months ago, and I'll share the description. I'll put the link on the description below. But this is an album that upon first listen, I was like, okay, this is definitely contender for album of the year for me personally. Very much enjoyed it, man. It's tragic that we lost Mac, and you know, I feel the sentiment with a lot of the hardcore Mac Miller fans and hip-hop fans in general, man. You know, he was such a good artist and an even better person outside of the music, and it's tragic and it's sad when we lose these type of artists. Mac's music and Mac's lyrics, you know, they spoke in volumes, and a lot of people connected to it, and it's just a shame that we're in this situation. But if you haven't listened to Circles, which I'm pretty sure you have, man, leave a comment below what you think of the album. I think it's beautiful. It was literally, you know, so deep into Mac's career, but I felt like it was still Mac breaking that ceiling of ascending into another level of his artistry, of his musical, you know, creativeness. And it's just a shame, man, you know, because he left us with such a beautiful project, man. And you know, Circles definitely deserve to be in conversations of top album of the year in many people's lists. Is such a good album. And number 4, a band that many people are probably familiar with, and you should be. It's The Strokes with The New Abnormal. Great fucking record. I loved it, man. I know it was a long waiting time there from their last album onto this one, but I think you know, they went into the studio with Rick Rubin, and I felt like, you know, I thought it was a good duo. I feel like Rick didn't take away from them in the studio. I felt like, you know, he kind of just let them ride it through him, and he followed along. I think The New Abnormal captures that Strokes sound that everyone loves and enjoys. And yeah, man, I think the record was very enjoyable. It doesn't drag on for me personally, and definitely one that I frequently go back to and listen to. At number 3, Phoebe Bridgers, Punisher. I mean, what else can I say? What else can I say about that record that everyone doesn't already know? It's amazing. And number two, yep, it's a hip hop album. Benny the Butcher's The Burden of Proof. My goodness. What a record. What a record. Hit Boy, looking at you. Benny the Butcher delivers. Like I told you guys, I wasn't all familiar with the Griselda stable, but I definitely did become well aware of who the fuck they were and who the fuck Benny the Butcher is. Cause my goodness, this dude can spit, and this fucking album just yells hip hop. It just fucking screams hip hop throughout your speakers. Go check it out if you haven't listened to it. To people that enjoy hip hop, and if you haven't listened to this, or my friends that watch this and you haven't listened to this, go listen to this album, because this album is so good. You just won't be disappointed. I think Benny really found his lane on this and really just came at it, man. It really came with some heat. The production, the fucking beat selection on this album is fantastic. They don't miss, man. He doesn't miss. Benny came through, man. This is some good shit. Alright guys, at number one for my personal favorite album of the year, and I'm sure it's gonna draw controversy and many of you will probably laugh at me. I really don't give a fuck because it's my list, right? Number one, Logic's No Pressure. Considering the state that Logic was coming from off of Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, his last studio release, you know, he dropped the ball. He dropped the ball. I wrote a review on that one as well. Didn't give it a high grade. I didn't think it was Logic's best work at all. It was far from it. I felt like it was a decline that I knew he would redeem himself from. A lot of people often said, you know, he had fallen off or he lost his touch, and I don't think that happens with artists, man. Regardless of their situation, maybe their label draws them onto, you know, take a different approach to certain records, but I don't think that was the case with Logic, considering his personal struggles with, you know, online and, you know, a lot of the feedback that he was getting and not fully being able to wash away those comments that he was getting for his work. I think that piled up with, you know, the constant work ethic that he put, because Logic was putting a lot of music out this past 3 years. And I think that kind of slowed him down, but I think with No Pressure, man, he definitely fucking redeemed himself. Logic did a very good job of just rapping from the heart, and that's, you could hear it in every song. And he said it on his interview with Nick Huff of Hard Knock TV. You know, he said, you know, I legit got my pad, got my pen, and just went at it. You know, started writing, constantly writing, just completely putting myself onto this project, and it shows, man. I think you know, Logic went into retirement on a high note, and it couldn't have been a better send-off, man. It was bittersweet as a Logic fan. Definitely a good album. Damn good hip-hop album, and to me it was just the best of the year for me personally. That being said, we wrap up my personal list of top 20 favorite albums of 2020. Let me know what you guys think. You know, just hit the like button. You guys share your thoughts, opinions, your list on the comments below. I'd love to hear it, man. And I'm gonna show you guys a couple of honorable mentions that didn't make my list but were damn good and were heavy on rotation throughout the year for me as well, and I'll pop that up right now. And also, before I leave, guys, if you guys have any opinions of maybe a next video I could do, if you guys want me to do a follow-up, or if you guys have an artist that maybe I should check out or you would like for me to write a review on, I'd be more than happy to take a listen. I consume music heavily on a daily basis, and so for you guys to share maybe artists I haven't heard about, please, I'd be more than happy to check out new music, and we'll go from there, man. You guys stay safe. Happy 2021, and I'll see you guys on the next video.